Oops. Sorry.
Thank you.
Actually, then we can use and share this big. Do I have TikTok? Yeah, that's the question. And no, I
Banana.
don't. Jason, my tablet don't have TikTok. So I need strong player 19.
The projector.
Eh? Where's the...
Is it the one?
Oh, here. Are we live?
Yeah, we are live.
Oh, we're live. Hi, people. Good. Give me a second, huh? Let me view and see you all.
Thank you.
Hi,
Oh, there.
everyone.
We're live. We are
Live. Hi, everyone.
twinning.
Oh, people of the world. Hi, people of the world.
People of the world.
We
Okay.
close the door so we don't. People of the world, you're early. Welcome to you.
People of the world, just join us. Thank you, people of the world. So now, Mitsuko, are you teacher Mitsuko? I'm sorry.
Okay, today I promised you all. Oh, hold on now.
Hello.
Give me a moment. I'm actually supposed to do the whole thing because now it shows behind me. Give me a second.
It's almost the end of our academic year at Writers at Work. Only 2 weeks left. 2 more lessons. Two more lessons.
Correct. 2 more lessons and we're about to end our Writers at Work lesson.
Correct. We only have 2 stories left for this year for Write class.
Hold on, Jason. I'm trying to fix the background. Hold on, people.
Technical issue.
Yes.
This is what happens when...
Hello, Sherlyn. Welcome, Sherlyn. She's Sherlyn, even if her name says not Sherlyn.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live. Give me some time to fix my background. How come? Eh?
Okay, I'm just so amazed.
Somehow.
This is the first time I'm doing this, by the way, guys. So bear with us. But this is so exciting because I'm joining teacher Mitsuko.
Good morning, Violin B. Okay, today, everyone, you notice why early today?
We're early today.
Because I wanted...
Because the early bird
catches the
the
first question from teacher Arian. Today, I promised you that someone will be joining us. Someone special will be joining us today. And I was so excited to do it that we do it early. So, hi, Epic Comeback 5000. Welcome to you. And with me today, I think you're all very excited to know who I am with. Introduce yourself, teacher.
I've been waiting for this moment to try that out, you know. Good morning, everyone. And yes, I'm joining teacher Mitsuko, and we are so excited to be here
What's your
today.
name? Tell them your name.
Oh, my
And then
name
let's
is...
test them if they can spell your name properly.
Galinda.
Galinda.
It's Galinda.
Is it Christmas already? Yes, Amelia.
Yes.
We can feel the Christmas season.
Merry Christmas. As you can see, we are so ready for Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Amelia. We are feeling the season as well. With me today is our senior teacher. Yes?
The screen can go full screen because I'm looking at.
Oh, hold on. Huh? Oh my God. Give me a second.
Like go. Hi, teacher. Ooh. Hello, people of the world. Is it Christmas?
Oh, okay. Someone actually Yuki plays the spelling.
Yeah,
now,
thank you, Yuki. Thank you.
So they should be able to spell your name already.
Yeah.
However, the background is actually correct also. So let me see.
Yes.
Okay, so now I am happy with the background.
Good morning. Full marks for everything.
Full marks for everything. Hi, pretty
Yes.
teachers. Thank you.
Thank you.
We shall claim that.
Yes.
And today, yes, registration for 2025 is ongoing. Teacher Ariane just mentioned that we are down to our last 2 lessons for 2024 curriculum.
Yes. Last 2
So,
lessons.
We hope to see more of you online to our physical classes.
True.
Yes, for sure, for
Yes.
sure. Oh, Teacher Aryan, what are your classes? Maybe they want to join your class.
I'm teaching P1 all the way to P5, but next year I'm hoping to see P6s as well.
Right. So if you're
Claiming it.
interested, she's claiming, if you're interested and you want to join Teacher Aryan's class, you can definitely ask our wonderful CSOs and see if they
Yes.
already have the schedule for all of you.
True. Yeah,
But which branches are you in?
Currently I'm teaching in King's Arcade and Bishan. Yeah, my students have been asking me, they've been bugging me, and yeah, they wouldn't stop asking me where I will be next year.
So once Teacher Aryan gets her schedule, we will promote it.
You'll be the first one to know.
But for today, what are we going to talk about? Oh, the music some more.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long discussion today, but don't worry, we'll try to make it engaging and interactive for you guys. We prepared a lot of questions. I think that's what you've been waiting for anyway.
We're very teacher.
Yes.
We like to present with questions.
Correct.
But some of you may not be aware, we have actually done 2 special live sessions already about the changes in PSLE. We
Yes.
focused on paper 1 when was it? Last Friday.
Friday with teacher
Vicky.
Vicky.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and also paper 2. What was
Yesterday.
that? Few days. Yesterday with
Yeah.
teacher Aoife as well.
Correct. So now I think this is a very crucial one. It's because Teacher Vicky and Teacher Eva have been talking about the deduction of marks from paper 1 and 2.
Correct.
You know where they all went.
We'll do a checkpoint later to see how well you've been listening to them.
Yes, they all went here.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of things to be unpacked, right? Like why
Mhm.
put more if it's there in oral? Why put
Correct.
more there?
Why make changes if it's already, if it's fine?
Correct. So there's a lot of things that we will cover, but first do keep in mind, tan, 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 some things for you. Hello, Sayang. What's our goal like for today? I love Bingsu forever. Who's Bingsu? I love Bingsu forever.
Oh,
Hello.
bingsu, the Korean.
Ah,
Is it
is it
Korean
a Korean?
dessert? Oh, yes.
Okay, today we try to reach out. Yesterday we did manage to do 80K, so today we're very ambitious. 80K, let's go.
80K. No, 90K. Let's make
90,
90K.
90, 90. We're very ambitious like that.
90K. My students better be watching. Where are my students, guys? Where are you? Are you not awake yet? Come on,
Right,
guys.
so we give them some time, maybe they'll
Okay,
appear
I'll give you
later.
5 seconds to wake up. 5.
Reminders. So we actually prepared quite a lot of good information for you. So prepare to take a screenshot if you have to. We will
Correct.
move aside.
Yes,
you
or
want
if
us
you
to
want
move
us here, we
aside.
can do a post as well.
And what else, Teacher Aryan? What do we want them to do as we go through the live?
Yes, so you have to get involved, which you already are. I know you've been answering the questions in the past 2 live sessions about the changes in PSLE. But today, please do utilize the question and answer button. If you don't have a question and answer button, but just type in your answers.
Comment.
Or comment down your answers because like what I've said earlier, we have a lot of questions prepared for you guys. And for your prize or reward, you will have bragging rights.
We managed to ask questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
All right. So for today, what exactly are we gonna cover for the PSLE changes? Zooming in on oral.
Yeah, so like what I mentioned, this would be, we will have a lot to talk about, but the first one will be, of course, the changes in the allocation of marks and format. So paper 1 and paper 2 have 5 and 5 points deducted on each papers. So we will find out where those 10 marks will be going and how it will be distributed in oral or paper form.
Nice. I'm taking PSLE next year. Very good. I love Megumi and Gojo.
Yes, let's go PSLE next year.
The more we do live sessions, the more challenging it is to pronounce your handles, but I love the
Gojo.
challenge. Very good. This is a very good time for you then to watch the live.
Correct.
So you prepare yourself for what's about to come for you now.
Mhm.
So Teacher Aryan, allocation of marks.
Yes, and how these will impact you, students and parents as well, so that we can be prepared for the changes next year. Of
Correct.
course, I know it's daunting to be the first ones in line to take the PSLE, right? The new,
Changes, right?
the new format of PSLE. But don't worry, we've got you covered.
Yeah.
And we will be showing you the sample papers, of course, so that you will know what to expect in PSLE next
Correct.
year. And yeah, lastly, Teacher Mitsuko, why don't you let us know what the last thing that we'll be talking about today?
Correct. We will also, of course, ultimately, we're not here to scare you.
Yeah.
We want to prepare you. So part of our job in preparing you is to actually tell you what are some tips and strategies that you can actually take to make sure that you are ready for the changes. Actually, the tips and strategies we're preparing is not just specific to how to tackle the changes, but at the same time, how to tackle oral generally.
Correct.
And these are strategies that you can actually bring with you all the way to when you do oral for secondary school English as well. Yeah?
Yes, and for those of you who are still in primary 3, primary 2, or 4, or 5 next year, you can also better prepare yourself for your weighted
Correct.
assessments or end of year, right?
Yeah, because
So,
for sure, right, once the changes are being rolled out, even the lower, like P5, P4, they may actually start injecting some of the changes already.
Look,
Wow, my dad,
AL1
look
in
at this.
English.
Look at this. My dad said if I will get AL1 for my PSLE, he will get me an iPhone. Wow, good for you,
Dad!
Darren.
Yes, iPhone 16 Pro Max.
We want to be your
Ultra.
siblings also.
Yes, Dad.
Darren,
Dad.
that means to say, Darren, aim for it. We think that you are here, you are trying to prepare yourself to understand the changes. That's a good step towards getting AL1. My dad said he would just buy me Jollibee.
I mean,
Chloe,
Jollibee is the
we
best
love
thing
Jollibee.
ever.
So that is a good thing. Let's go. Food, whatever that is. Yes,
Yes.
very good, Royston.
Thank you.
So we cover these things. So that means to say, this one is red. These two are very, very, very big bonuses.
Correct.
You
Yes.
have to make sure you get to this part because these are gold mines that you want to make sure that you take a screenshot or take note of. So be there with us. Hi, Cher, will you give bonus later? Yes, next level. This is the bonus. You will get to see some sample rubrics, so you actually understand, right, how different schools assess you orally and what are the things that they look out for.
Yeah.
And you start realizing, oh, very different, but you see a pattern as well in how they like to test their students with the oral examinations. And the tips and strategies, so many. So that is going to be your bonus. Wait for it. Next level, Airy. Galinda. Okay, so quick recap though. We're teachers, so we like to ask you questions.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
All right. In the past 2 live sessions, we covered paper 1 and paper 2. So let's try to check if they can still remember. Oh, yeah, before we go on to the points, by the way, what are the 2 papers in paper 4?
2 sections of paper 4. Can you recall? This one very easy, huh? I need the answer to be quick.
Yeah, okay, come
Let's
on.
go.
We'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3,
Pressure now,
2,
pressure.
1.
Hello, Danish. Good morning.
Okay, anyone got it correctly? What are the 2 sections of paper 4?
Hello, user 3619. We just asked them what are the 2 sections
Yeah.
of paper 4.
Anyone? Any 2? Any 3?
I'm back, y'all. Hello. User 3619.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're very happy to see you.
Okay, since you just joined us, user 3619, what are the 2 sections of paper 4?
Correct. now you are the one on hot seat now. 2 sections of paper 4.
Okay, we'll give you a clue. The first one starts with letters R for the first word, and the second word starts with letter
What letter?
A. So
R
2
and A.
words, R and
A.
A. For the first section. Wow.
I am minding the action.
Charades.
So what is
First
RA,
word.
Sherlyn? We just literally gave
Yeah.
letters. What does RA
Sure.
stand for?
R is the first word, A is the second word.
Correct.
Teacher Mitsuko, first word, let's do charades. R. Wow. What is that? Again. First word. Mosquito? What? You killed a mosquito!
I opened the book.
Oh, you opened a book. Okay, sorry. The
And
second
then-
word. Quietly.
No.
Okay, Teacher Matsuko, because I think they just woke up and it's too early for a live session. What do you think is the first section of paper 4?
Paper 4, people. What's the sections of paper 4? Not Sherlyn said RA. Sherlyn, very busy liking the live, huh? Give me the spelling of RA, Sherlyn. Madam. Not sure. Now we've reached already what 3.2k likes. Wow, thank
so
you.
fast. I
Let's-
think we can actually
we're reaching
meet
5k
the
soon. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
reaching 5k soon. Very good.
road to
Mhm.
90k.
Wow, road to
Almost.
90k. Let's go.
Okay,
You see, that's why they're not responding. They're very okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Christian.
reading a lot, Christian. Good job.
Good
That's
job.
an AL1 for PSLE already. Okay, well done, Christian. What about the second section?
Busy liking. Sorry, yeah.
Second section. Let's give them a hint. The second has 3 words: S, B, and C.
Is it hyphenated? I mean, two words.
Oh yeah. So sorry, it's hyphenated.
But she gave you better. Okay, SBC. Look at Shirley now. So she just repeat. She repeats
Yeah.
the letters you give.
I mean, it's good. She's like giving the hints to the other.
Correct. Thank you, Sherlyn. SBC, the moment now it involves me talking to my examiner.
Correct.
They're gonna ask me questions
So
this time.
This is the part where where they show you a poster or a picture, and then they will be asking you questions.
About it, right?
Yes.
So it's
What
kind of
is
like
it?
the C there is very easy. What's the C there when you're talking to someone? You're basically seeing with them.
Chatterbox.
You
Chatterbox.
can be a chatterbox when you do this activity. But just
The
make
first-
sure whatever you're chattering.
Yeah, the first word is quite difficult though.
Yeah, correct. Because it's talking about the poster, right? Okay, everyone.
Maybe we can ask Christian again.
Christian, what's
Christian.
SBC? What do you think is SBC? Hello, Halima, Jackson. Thank you for joining the live. Okay. Let's give it 10 more seconds. Okay, and then we shall proceed to tell them the 2 sections. And pretty obviously, these 2 sections are actually affected by the changes.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's actually reading aloud and stimulus-based conversation. Very scenario-based conversation.
Almost.
Acceptable.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well done, you Christian.
Well done. And so, of course, today we will be talking about both because both are affected by the changes in PSLE. But what we will do before we break down reading aloud and we break down stimulus-based conversation, we will talk about the major changes now.
Absolutely. Yes, so there are 4 key changes to paper 4, starting with
This one you're already aware.
heavier weightage. So in for next year there will be an additional 10 marks added in paper 4. 10 marks. We're not only talking about 1, 2, or 5. We're talking about 10 huge addition to this paper. And the second one.
Dun, dun, dun.
The second one is usage of PAC format.
What is it? We'll get to that later. Don't worry. we'll get to
Pac-Man.
that.
PAC.
So now Teacher Aaron is now starting to mention the very specific changes of each section.
Yes.
And then now the very biggest one.
Yeah, the third one. This might be a challenge, a huge challenge for us. But since social media is such it's something that we use every day, I would say. I think people, or especially like us, were able to discern pictures or even videos better than we used to in the past. So next year for oral, posters in the SBC or stimulus-based conversation will no longer be hand-drawn. So no more posters or drawn illustrations, but these will be replaced by
Real life pictures.
Yeah.
It
yes.
sounds like at the moment, right? Like, oh, no more hand-drawn posters, like, and then real life pictures. By the wordings itself, right? It may sound very straightforward.
Yeah.
But it does pose its own set of challenges. However, before you even complain about these changes, I think you have to understand why these changes are actually given to you in the first place. Like, do they just want to stress you out on examinations? Definitely no.
Yeah.
What teacher Aryan mentioned is with the changes of the times, you are exposed to so many photos, ads, or whatever kind of content every single day.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this. Like, what's the average?
Correct.
number
Those of you who recall, we mentioned this yesterday. On average, right, from the moment you wake up, and then all the way till you go somewhere, right? Both online and physical world, how many ads do you think you are exposed to
On a
every
daily
day?
basis?
Give it a number. Sherlyn, you were around. Do you remember how many ads?
She's thinking.
Whether
Okay,
you
let's give her
pay-
some time to think.
Whether you pay attention to them or not, because most of the
Yeah.
time, some of you don't, of course, you don't physically count them while you're on the train, for example, but you are exposed to this number every single day, and you may not probably notice it, but this is the amount of information your brain might need to process every day. How many ads do you think?
Can I guess also?
Yes.
I'm not really sure with the exact number. But
Shirley says 60. Do you agree with Shirley?
I think it's 1,000. 1,000?
Teacher Aryan is going for thousands. Do you want to go higher, Shirley?
Higher. Is it higher though or lower?
Higher.
Higher than 1,000. 1,000.
1 M.
1 million.
That's a lot.
That's too high.
That's a lot,
That's a
Shirley.
huge jump from 1,000.
You're getting there though. It's about 6,000 to 10,000 ads every day.
6 to 10,000 a day.
Both physical and online. And so 1.5, close enough. A bit closer. You're closer to it. So 6 to 10K of ads and quote heavy. This is gonna be the leap you'll be facing for secondary school.
Correct. And if I'm not mistaken, a few years back, secondary or for O levels are actually using this kind of format, right? Yeah.
So you seem to notice that, they're actually starting to adapt it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've mentioned it in paper 1 and 2 already.
Mm-hmm.
Paper 4, let's make sense of it later. We'll briefly mention to you how oral works for secondary English. And it will start to make you realize that, oh my God, we need this kind of change for primary level. Yeah.
That's true.
And finally,
Yes, finally, the reading aloud section will no longer be thematically linked to the SBC. Unlike before, for example, if you've read something about food or health, the SBC will also be about food or health or living a healthy lifestyle. But this time, or next year, I should say, for SBC and reading aloud, they will be completely different themes. For example, if the reading aloud is about environment,
correct, environment.
the SBC will be about
Education.
yeah,
Or
correct.
outdoor
Yeah.
adventures. So there is a Chur Aryan. Oh, thank you, Sherlyn. So J7,
Hi.
J7's hello, welcome back to you. He was around during the live
Yes, I'm
last
Teacher
month.
Aryan.
Welcome. Now I introduce to you Teacher Aryan. So
Yes.
you've actually all met our senior teachers. You've met Teacher Vicky, and yesterday Teacher Ifa, today Teacher Aryan.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So there is a shift, right? At the moment you start thinking about the change that Teacher Aryan just talked about, the delinking of reading aloud and SBC. There's a change, there's a shift in the way you do your entire examination. Because you used to think, right, while you're doing the reading aloud, you actually can start thinking ahead. Because theme-wise is the same. So by the time you do reading aloud, you're very ready. Like, it's
Correct.
environment. That means to say, I'm going to prepare all the things, vocab, context, and all about environment. Because that's what's basically I'm going to be facing for stimulus-based conversation. But now that's not the case. Okay, so more thinking on your feet involved because it may not be the same theme at all.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, they have to prepare for these sections separately this time. Unlike before, wherein you can actually practice or get ready for these two sections together. This time you have to be prepared and your knowledge should be more broad, I would say, because you wouldn't know which theme you'll be getting for each section. So it's always good to have enough general knowledge, I would say, to equip yourself for your responses for each papers.
Yeah, it's delinked at the same time, higher stakes because more marks.
Correct.
Right. And speaking of marks,
okay, our first Q&A. No, this is not the first.
Yeah, you already
question,
tested
but yeah. Now, we've said earlier that there will be changes in the marks allocated for paper 4. Let's start with reading aloud. So from 10 points the previous years, what would be the new mark for reading aloud? Okay.
J7s, that was quick. She said 15.
15, is it 15?
Good job.
Well done.
So that means you
Okay.
added 5 here. How about SBC?
SBC from 20 marks, now or next year it will become, let's see, again, we only have 10 points that's being allocated to paper 4.
Should be
So
easy,
by
right?
now you should know what the new mark for SBC
25.
25.
Is it? Correct.
Woo! Wow, well done you.
So that means to say from 15%, it's now a whopping overall from in your overall English grades, your
Okay.
oral
Maths.
paper 4 will now cover how much percentage?
30, 35, lower.
So 15%, right? Remember, it's all upon 200. Yeah, it's upon 200. Ah, good. You're getting there. Very good, J7.
Actually,
Well done. It's now
20%.
20%. Well done.
Yes, correct.
So if you recall, paper 1 from 40, paper 2 from 47.5 is down to 45%, but you still see, right? It's more than, it's almost half of your entire English grade. And then for paper 1, it's down to about how much percent? 30,
30,
30%.
45,
45 plus 20,
65,
65. And then listening,
35.
listening is
Oh yeah, listening is
65, 20. Another 20% for listening, is it? Can you check, Royston, the percentage for paper 3, listening compre?
we actually have that here. Wait,
Paper
huh?
1 is 25%.
Paper 1 is 25 now for the new one.
Paper 2, yeah.
Okay.
Paper 2 is 45.
25,
Listening is
45,
10%.
10. Okay,
Then oral is 20%.
correct. So that's about paper 2, 45, paper 1, 25, 20% for oral as well. So it's like the weightage is now, I would say, it's now more evened out. Of course, paper 2 should be there because comprehension is important. But the rest of them, right, you will see that they're all at least overall starting to even out.
Yes.
Okay, so, but duration of the examination, can you give it a try?
How
What do you
long
think?
will you be given to prepare for reading aloud and for SPC?
You have to be aware, even your prep time, because you need to make sure you know the step-by-step process and how to maximize your time preparing all the way to the examination. Duration, how many? It's not gonna reach an hour, huh? So how many minutes do you think? Let's talk in
30 minutes then.
30 minutes is it?
30 minutes.
Duration.
I think it's just enough for you to have enough what do you call this, details or things that you might want to share during your SBC and everything.
How long? J7 says 15 minutes. Close enough.
Yeah, yes,
Close
close
enough.
enough.
Good
Lower, it's 10 minutes, so that's
yeah.
5 minutes for reading aloud and 5 minutes for SBC.
Yeah. Right, very good, J7s. Fully aware. I realized just one thing very recently because when you've been teaching for so long, but you don't really do PSLE with the students every year. Somehow the 10 minutes sounds very short.
Correct.
But for the students, like 2 minutes is like very long. 1 minute is very long when you prepare, when you think about things.
Because the adrenaline is rushing again.
Yeah,
during
and
that time.
recently it really hit me. Last week, last Saturday, I would say, I took this Spanish exam.
See.
And they're same thing, paper 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, people.
So what was your mark?
I really,
What did you
I really
get?
started understanding the students even.
She started crying.
I wanted to cry, right? It's very embarrassing. And the preparation time was about 10 minutes. But the conversation was it only lasted for 3 minutes or so. But it was the longest 3 minutes of my life.
Did you get your results already?
Not yet. So
Congratulations in advance Trinity.
But I
sure you will.
realized that it was not. It was very challenging, and I understand the struggle. So, but I also understand, right? If 3 minutes, for example, was very long, there's so much you can do in 3 minutes.
Yes, and I think that's why it's important for you to stay calm because the more you panic or the more stressed you are during that preparation, you won't be able to think clearly, and it would be more difficult for you to maybe come up with the things that you might want to say or do during the examination itself.
And ultimately, for you, a way for you to actually not panic on the examination is to really come prepared.
Correct.
So this is now the time for you to shine. And speaking of marks, okay, since you all understand now that paper 4 actually got a total of 5 marks each for RA and SBC, can you quickly recall? Let's do a quick review.
Okay, game time. For
Yes,
paper 1, let's start with situational writing. What were the deductions?
much
How many
points?
marks? For situational
That
writing,
means
let's
to say
start.
these 4 has to total 10 marks, huh? But
Yes.
all of them deducted to put into paper 4. So if you recall, paper 1 situational writing from 15.
Okay, so situational writing, how many points were deducted for situational writing?
15 down to how much? 15 down to, did we deduct what? 5 marks?
5 marks, 3, 7, 2.
To give you a clue, very easy. 5 marks out from paper 1, 5 marks out from paper 2.
10, it should be with,
That means to say, if you're saying 15 to 10, that means continuous writing stay the same, is it?
No.
No, yeah,
No.
correct. So you have to divide 5 between situational
Situational
writing
writing
and
and continuous
continuous
writing.
writing.
Let's give them more hint. The deduction of marks, the deduction for continuous writing is heavier or bigger
correct.
than the situational writing deduction.
Correct. One more guess, J7's.
5 points. Okay, for situational writing or for both, is it?
From 15 down to 5 or 5 minus 5 marks? 8. I
8.
see. We're getting
3.
high.
3?
Close. Close. Situational writing is minus 1.
1. And for continuous writing, it's 4. I think some students will be happy to hear this. But at the same time, even though there's a huge deduction for continuous writing, your preparation should still be the same because the requirements is still the same. Or we just don't know. Maybe it's more difficult this time around. But yeah, just because there are deductions in paper 1 and paper 2 doesn't mean that you should slack off or take a step back in your preparation. Your preparation should still be the same. However, you have to put more effort this time in paper 4. Unlike before, paper 4, it's just oral, easy, right? We talk every day to everyone. So, but this time, there will be a lot of things that we have to consider for paper 4. So again, just because there are deductions for paper 1 and paper 2 doesn't mean that you have to sack off or to be, what do you call that? To take your your revision a notch lower than you thought you have to do for your PSLE or for your examinations.
Because to put it simply, right, they lowered the marks, but the examination standard is the same. They even raised it higher.
Yes.
Because for example, -1 for situational writing, but they added 1 additional question that requires deduction and logical thinking from you. So you see, like, teacher, how is it possible that they lowered the mark, but they managed to add 1 question that requires us to provide our own answer, cannot be found in the stimulus anymore?
Yeah.
It's because what that only means to say is you need to fight for the marks because there's not a lot for them to be given out anymore. That's about it. For continuous writing, same. They did not lower the word count for you. They did not lower the time given for you. They just basically lowered the marks. It only means to say you have to continue writing well, so you get the same level of AL1 quality with only 36 marks to work with.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually my P5 students, because most of them or all of them took the new format for their end of year, and they said that for the situational writing, that 1 new question was really tough. It was quite difficult to answer.
Yeah.
That's why you still have to really prepare yourself for these kinds of changes and these questions. I know how difficult preparing for this is, but we just have to be open for challenges.
Correct.
And that's the only, and because the world is changing, this is the only way for us to cope with it as well.
And if you want to continue practicing, we have another round for paper 1. And definitely it was fun getting to practice different teacher Vicky and I prepared a lot of the questions, new set for situational writing from all different schools. So join us again for paper 1 on the 16th of December if you want to practice these new questions, huh?
Okay, but before that, J7ST, you actually gave the correct answer for the deductions in
Very
paper 2. But
good.
enjoy your breakfast and thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your breakfast.
Editing
Join
minus
us again
2.
later once you're done with your breakfast. Okay, we might still be here.
So editing -2, visual text -3, but then again, once again, they've deducted 3 questions, 3 marks from visual text, but they actually also added 1 new type of question for visual text.
Yes.
And 2 texts now involved. So the changes in the format requires you to also update the way you revise and answer these sections, huh? So be mindful. But of course, we focus on paper 4 today.
Yes. I think some of the students will be happy to hear that there's 2 marks deducted in editing. I know how confusing it is.
Yeah.
So
but
yeah.
nonetheless, the revision on grammar and spelling has to continue, because even if editing has 10 marks now, if you don't know how to spell them, it will affect your composition. It will affect your grammar MCQ. It will affect your Compre OE even as well. So we continue the revisions. But 10 marks added to paper 4. What does it mean now? So have a look. Quick revision. So at the moment, this is the current set. Where is this taken from, Teacher Aryan?
Oh, these were from 2022 PSLE Day 1 Oral. So these were actual papers in PSLE 2 years ago. As you can see, the reading aloud and the SBC are thematically linked. So this reading aloud is about recycling. As we can see, there are keywords already. And the SBC, like finally, and it's bullet here that it's also about recycling. So easy peasy. We already know what to talk about when we are asked questions for SBC. Now, let's try to take a look at the challenges that we might face with the changes in first reading aloud.
So let's break it down. Let's start with reading aloud. So Teacher Aryan mentioned that now reading aloud will have a PAC given to you. But what is PAC? I suppose this is not new for a lot of them. So before you actually start reading, they will present you with this information.
Yeah. PAC. Okay, these are actually just for you guys, for you to find out or to guess what these 3 words are. Let's start with the first one though.
PAC. That means to say, this is actually your clue. So they will provide you with a P. That means to say they will provide you with a motive as to like, why are you reading this? Okay, what's the point of reading this?
Oh yeah, and I think we didn't really specify or explain to them what this is for. For reading aloud next year, there will be a new format. So in the past, you just have to read the passage given to you, right? You just have to make sure that you read them with proper intonation, pronunciation, and early articulation. We had a discussion about that earlier. We can share it with you later, guys. But this time, there is a new format, and these requirements, I would say, would be included in the preamble, or this will be shown to you before you start reading the passage. So these will help you gain a higher mark if you follow or if you're able to demonstrate all of these 3 while reading aloud.
So they will give you the PAC, and you have to read according to the PAC they gave you. Yeah?
So
that's the additional challenge. But now, what is PAC?
Correct. The first one is a motive. What is this for? Why are you reading
Are you supposed to like read it to convince people? Or are you supposed to read it in front, like you're supposed to read it in front of this group of people and persuade them? So P, if you persuade, convince, or explain or inform, this is what you call letter P, people. Let's try. P.
What is a P? What does this P stand for?
What does P stand for? Come on.
Again, this is why you're reading it, or what the passage is for, most probably. And this is the main reason.
Mm. So, what's letter P? Let's go. Let's give it a try. Where's everyone? J7 is eating. Where's Sherlyn? Sherlyn,
Yeah,
are you still
Sherlyn,
there?
I think we need you.
Sherlyn. Okay, PAC. I'll give you a clue. This is very similar to what you're looking for when you do your situational writing. Because I know your teachers get you to look for these, right? Same. I'm busy playing. Wait, what are you playing, Sherlyn? Roblox? What are you playing? Okay, PAC, let's give it a try. Let's give you 10 more seconds and then we shall reveal it so we can proceed, huh?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I'm correct. She's playing Roblox. Actually, since no one is giving the answer, people in the room. People in the room. What's PAC?
Purpose, audience, context.
What? Very good, very good, very good.
You was like, wait.
What is she doing?
Why do I have to answer now?
Okay, correct. Interestingly, they will actually provide you with the purpose, audience, and context before you start reading, and you have to read according to these three.
Okay, so let's set an example. For example, Teacher Mitsuko, do you have any passage there? But I'll be the one to give you the purpose.
Okay.
The audience and
like
the
this,
context.
for example.
Okay.
This is actually a sample paper from the recent P5 end of year from Clementi Primary School. So look at this.
Okay. So there's no clear PAC indicated here. But let's try to come up. Oh, maybe you can all help me think of a purpose.
It's kind of like the passage is actually like an excerpt from like a story.
Yeah.
It's about John and Mei Ling getting very excited about meeting an author that they both really like.
Okay, so the purpose is for us to entertain. Okay. And for the audience, your audience would be
I'm reading for what?
for a group of primary 1 students.
Oh, okay.
And the context is informal setting.
Informal. Oh my god.
Okay, let's give it up for Teacher Mitsu. This is so impromptu.
As soon. Hey, but it's like that lah. You give the PAC, you think about it, and then you put yourself in that position. You basically become a person doing the PAC lah. So as soon as the recess bell rang, everyone scrambled out of the classroom. Where is everyone rushing for? Oh, sorry. Where is everyone rushing to? John asked Mei Ling. Haven't you heard? Our school has invited Jeremy Lee to give a talk about his upcoming book in a library. Mei Ling replied excitedly. Was I excited? I was. Jeremy Lee? The renowned author of Merlion Investigators? John exclaimed. He was astonished by what he had just heard. I hope he'll reveal when his next book launch is. I desperately want to get a copy of his new book to add to my collection.
Ooh, okay.
Now,
Wow.
Teacher Aryan will continue this. Second half, Teacher Aryan, continue.
Okay,
Oh
I
my
need
god,
that.
Teacher Aryan. Okay, yes.
Okay.
The library.
I'm blind, so I need to make this bigger. The library was already packed with pupils. They were seated on the floor, eagerly waiting for the appearance of
Jeremy Lee.
Yes. John and Mei Ling showed their way through the crowd and managed to find a place to sit. They will continue.
Okay, now it's your time. Say it in your own, in the comforts of your home.
Okay, boys and girls, ready? 3, 2, 1,
And
go.
boys, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, correct. Slower.
With feelings.
But that's about it. That's the experience we're trying to get you to feel. It's no longer just give me a passage, I'll read it however I want.
Yeah.
they give you a passage, they will tell you how they want you to read it. That's basically about it, yeah? Okay. But of course now, they won't make fun of you. They will make sure they give you the PAC that's fitted for the passage that they actually want to give you.
Yes.
Okay? So one thing I'd like to highlight though is like, remember everyone, the papers we're about to show you are from the P5 end of year examinations that just recently happened. So what we're about to show you next is some very interesting rubrics on how these schools actually assess your ability to do the reading aloud and stimulus-based conversation. For example, what we're gonna try to do now is from the rubrics, what do you realize? You will realize what exactly are they looking for. And so when you know what they're looking for, then you can strategize how to do the sections properly.
Yeah, you'll know what to work on.
Correct. Look at this.
I think this is also useful for parents at home now.
Correct. Parents, you can use this. Actually, that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
You can use the same things. If you want to practice reading aloud and stimulus-based conversations at home, then you can use the same rubrics lah. So pay attention. This is like annotation codes for the teachers to annotate as the student does the reading aloud. But it gives you the clue that they actually look out for these things. Pay attention. Of course, they will look out for any mispronunciation done. So pronounce the word correctly. That one pretty obvious, you already know. But what else, Teacher Aryan?
We also have omission of word. So if you forgot to read that one word for which when we are panicking or when we are, you know, in the height of our, how do you call that? Emotions.
Anxiety.
Yes. Anxiety, correct. Sometimes we just, for some reason, do not see that word.
Correct, right?
Or we just tend to skip it.
Overwhelmed by
Yeah.
that. So they actually still pay attention to the words that you do not read. Yeah. And then there's replacement of word with another. Yeah, that's the reason why I think the omission and the replacement, right, really pace yourself when you read, so that give yourself the time to like lower down the emotion and still continue to read word by word.
Correctly.
Okay? And yeah, correctly as well.
Yes.
So you don't end up omitting or you don't end up replacing.
Or changing the word.
Correct.
Even.
Yes. What else?
The next one is addition of new word or words.
No, it happens though. It
Yes,
does happen.
it happens.
It happens.
I think though, if you just add the word or that like simple articles, sometimes they would let that go. But again, it depends on the marker or the examiner at that point in time. So just to be safe, always pace yourself. Just relax. The faster you go, the more mistakes you might make. So just remember to read slower. But of course, still basing on these 3 requirements given to you.
Correct. And finally, self-correction. This one is very interesting because sometimes when you read, you notice that you actually, which I actually did earlier, I corrected myself with one of the words. I forgot which word was that. But they do pay attention to you correcting yourself because it does affect fluency. So they pay attention to how smooth the reading is. Yeah. So this gives you the idea that you have to be careful with all these little things. Yeah. Let's see one more example, Cher. Oh, this is from the same school. Same school, huh? Look at the entire criteria that they have.
So this time, this is a rubric that teachers are using for the new format of paper 4.
But I think the most important part you should pay attention is what are they looking for if you want to get full marks?
Correct.
Clear and consistently good pronunciation, fluent reading delivered with appropriate pauses and without hesitation, effective variation of pitch and tone.
Yeah, I think it boils down to those things that we talked about earlier, the pronunciation and articulation. What are the other 2 things that we've discussed earlier or we were talking?
Intonation.
Oh yeah, okay. So the pronunciation, the intonation, and the other one, the articulation, right? I hope you got that, guys.
You will be concerned that later. Yeah, and at the same time, it's also like it gives you the idea to choose your battles. Sometimes it may not happen perfectly on the day itself. But for example, like, oh, sure, I really don't know how to pronounce this word. Like, I tried doing all the techniques, look for another word that sounds the same way or spelled the same way, but I still don't know how to pronounce it. Then what you can do is to still confidently read it because you don't want to hesitate and then get your fluency affected, right? So these are the kind of strategies that you need to think about if you want to maximize the points that you get. So let's proceed and show you a few more. This one, Queenstown. Look at this. Good morning, everyone. It's no secret that many of us spend a large amount of time sitting. See, but now you see the difference. Clemente was using like an excerpt from a story, as opposed to this one, it's actually a speech.
Yes.
Is it a speech?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
a speech.
So it could be from different things, right? So that's why they want to put the PAC now, because they want to see how you interpret the text itself. Yeah. But how are they being, this gives you the clue, right? That means to say, from those two examples, and teacher Aryan actually gave you the clue. Now, what do you think are they trying to test you?
Yes,
These
so
are the
there are
three
three
main
important things, yes, or key things that you have to always look out for or try to practice when doing your reading aloud.
Correct. The rubrics may be different. They may look different. The descriptions in schools may be different, but they're all looking for these three things when you're doing your oral, when you're doing your reading aloud. Let's
Yes,
start
that's right.
with letter P.
Read with good pop.
What do you think is P? We're still there, people. Let's go. P stands for what? Let's give them about 10 seconds. And then we see if someone gives the P. Otherwise, it's going to go.
Yuki's already like...
Like, why am I moderating this live? I thought I was only moderating. Okay, now 10 seconds are over. P is what, people? Close enough. He's saying, for example,
Yeah.
tomato.
Tomato.
Or I
Shirley!
very good, but wrong spelling. Good job. I'm not testing you with spelling, so I shall accept. Cancel the O after N, and you should be able to go. Okay, must pronounce
Pronunciation.
properly. Thank you.
Good job, Shirley.
Letter A. Letter A. So,
And clear R.
you know how you use your speech organs to produce the sound that's needed for you to be understood well.
Correct. When you just say tomato.
Right. She's pronouncing it well, but I didn't hear her well. So you have to, you know, in the entirety of it, so the sound becomes easier for people to understand.
So it
Starts
becomes
with letter A.
clear and coherent. So if I say tomato,
Very good. That's better.
I said it with clear R.
Second letter. A.
R.
Aryan.
Aryan.
Aryan. What is it? 10 more seconds. 10 more
Shirley, you can
seconds.
do this. What's the letter A?
No, you
A
are
R.
properly.
Sounds like art, but not quite so.
She gave you the third letter. Art. What? Thinking. You are. Oh my god, I look at myself and
Yeah.
oh my god. Okay, people inside. Are you guys depending on me? Yes, we are depending on you, Shirley. And on Yuki and Royston also. It's very close to pronunciation. This is the one that we had a discussion with earlier.
Articulation.
Very good, very good.
Articulation.
And then finally,
Intonation.
Very good, very good. So these are the three things to look out for, and whatever rubrics you see in schools, they're all different versions of these three things. Okay, so this is ultimately what you're gonna aim for when you practice that. So for example, pay attention to this. This is Queenstown. Are they all here? Yes. Pronunciation here. Mispronunciation, they pay attention to. You see, pronunciation here,
pace,
fluency
correct.
here, stress and intonation here. Okay. What else? Oh, look at this.
We have one more from Anglo Chinese School. ACS Junior.
Correct.
Who's from ACS Junior here, by the way? ACS Junior, make some noise! Most of my students are from ACS.
Oh, you have so many ACS
Yes.
students.
And Nanyang too.
So, one thing we can highlight here is, look at this, exactly the same. Your fluency, your expression, your pronunciation, and articulation are also tested. So pay attention to them. And then, some schools actually break it down even more.
Oh, this is so good.
Mm,
You can take a screenshot of this, guys.
correct.
This is very useful. We're not saying that all schools will be using this,
Mhm.
but this would be a great guideline for you. Look at the first box. There are letters indicated because sometimes when we read, we try to omit the last letters,
Correct.
like the letter S or the AD or the T. We don't really like pronounce them and articulate them properly. So this is a great practice for you or guideline for you to always remember to pronounce even the last letter or letters clearly and correctly.
Correct. This is very exam smart. Because one thing you should know when they try to give you the marks for reading aloud, right?
Yes.
The teachers or the people who created the examination, they do prepare a set of words from the passage that they think you may highly likely mispronounce. Okay, and there are also words that they look out for that they assume you may not articulate properly. And to interpret that even more, they like to listen to the last sound, the last letter of the word, if you actually sound it right. So that they know when you say can and can't, right? If they don't hear the T at the end, automatically it affects your marks. So what are the letters here actually, teacher? So that they can see it. There's S.
Yeah, S, D,
Mm.
T, K, CH,
TH.
TH, ED, and SA.
Correct. So a lot of it are the words in past tense. I walked instead of walk, right? Then T
yeah.
is very common.
Pleasant.
Correct.
Or the S, like the plural forms, very
Correct.
important as well. It may affect, yeah.
It's actually pretty good. So these are another tip as well. Parents out there, if you want to test your kids, this is one of the things you should be looking out for when they read. Make sure they pronounce the ending sounds.
Correct. And also, the mispronounced words here. The one that you've mentioned earlier. So here, these are probably the, teachers might have picked these words because these are the commonly mispronounced words in a passage. So these are just some words, but they can also add more.
Correct.
Librarian. Librarian. Also the spelling of library, guys. Okay, no, that's for another another live session.
So it's a lot, right? You realize kind of a few things by the way schools do the rubrics for you. This one's CHIJ. One very interesting we'd like to show you is the checklist that they actually get the students to make sure that they manage to do every single thing before the examination even starts.
Ooh.
So you can learn this as well.
These are good points too, like greet the examiners, state name in full, state index number, maintain eye contact, and thank the examiners. Yeah, because I think because of how nervous we are, we forget these things. And not everyone is actually comfortable maintaining eye contact. So this is something that you have to also be prepared for when preparing for your PSLE oral.
It's not like we're breaking it down for you because sometimes when you practice, right, it's just like I start reading.
Correct.
But like you zoom it in, there's a whole process involved when you do it. So when you read, like which articulation or pronunciation is needed and all these things.
Yes. Okay, let's try maintaining eye contact this time. Let's see who's gonna break the eye contact first. Ready?
What?
No, we don't have time.
So yeah, these are very important things, and it's good that you get to be exposed to these different rubrics from schools. You get to learn a lot from them actually.
Yes.
So I hope you learned quite a few things from these rubrics, and now it's about time to face the biggest portion of it all. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, stimulus-based
conversation. Oh, just just thinking about
the
it.
word conversation.
Yeah, it's the stimulus-based, especially
Stimulus
it's a stimulus-based conversation.
But first, let's calm them down by showing them the current version.
Yes,
which we already showed you previously.
So easy. This is how the current PSLE paper 4 looks like. So as you can see, these are drawings or illustrations. And you can easily discern or decipher the meaning behind these pictures or posters because of the helping words or the keywords that are indicated in the picture itself.
This one are for both day 1 and day 2. But,
Yes.
no longer. What's the new one? Here we go.
So
Ada.
yes, so instead of hand-drawn posters, students will now see a black and white photograph depicting real-life situations or scenarios. So these photos will aim to, of course, be more relevant to the real-world context. So the questions might still be the same, wherein the first question would be, would you want to participate in this kind of activity? That's usually the question one for SBC, right? Or describe or tell us what you see in the picture. Usually that's what they would ask us for question number 2. Question 2 and question 3, these are more general questions based on the theme of the picture given to you. So that is way more difficult this time because of different reasons, which we will delve into those reasons later on and how we can approach each of those.
Correct. But the biggest change in the stimulus, right, already requires a change in the process on how you analyze the stimulus. Because
Yeah.
I think the one thing that they should be realizing, which I think a lot of them actually do,
Yeah.
so when they see the stimulus, they start looking for the what?
The words, the TSO. What's TSO again? T is for.
Title.
S is for.
Subtitle.
And O is. Dun, dun, dun.
What's O?
Objective, or
Objective
organizers.
Organizers aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Without the words in the stimulus, how do you make sure, again, that you make the most of your preparation time? And then you start preparing, staring at this real
Yeah.
life photo given to you.
And
right?
I think what makes it more difficult is that it's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it can be very subjective based on my perspective or my experience to yours, right? So how I might discern or understand the picture might be different to how you understand it or see it.
Correct. Sherman's Tea is here, and Gareth. Hi, Gareth. Welcome back to you.
Welcome.
Hey, Gareth. If you are there, say hi to me. I have a question for you.
Who's
'Cause
Gareth?
Gareth is P5, and he shared yesterday that he just did his He also does school. Okay,
Hi, Gareth.
Let's ask Gareth. Gareth, I have a
Okay.
question. When you did your oral, were you already given the PAC for your reading aloud? Did they identify a purpose, audience, and context for you for reading aloud, so that you base the way you read on the PAC they gave you?
Do you want to show him the image? Just
Like this. Did they provide you with this one already? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Can you share? Can you share with us? Do you recall, Gareth? What was roughly what purpose, audience, and context did you get for your reading aloud? Very interesting. While you are typing, we're asking the questions because it would be good to share this information with everyone now.
Yes. And can I just appreciate Shirlene? She's been giving us.
Wow, 5K,
Nice,
5K, lads. Thank you.
Yeah, it's almost 6K. We're on
Actually, almost
5.9K
to say thank you,
now.
Shirlene.
Thank you.
Mhm. So, Gareth, if you I forgot
Forgot.
Uncle ha.
Uncle Aya.
But that actually is a good information to share. That
Mm.
means to say they really have rolled out the changes already, including the. Was it easy, Gareth, to have the PAC indicated before you do the reading aloud? Oh wow, 6.1K. Thank you, people. Thank you, people. Yeah.
Was it difficult? Was it more challenging this time, Gareth?
Yeah.
That you were given these requirements before reading, or was it the same as to how it used to be? I mean, the feel.
Okay, while waiting for Gareth's response, I'm
Still
moving on.
contemplating. Yes, take your time, Gareth.
Yeah, so Teacher Ryan was talking about the change, right? No more hand-drawn photos. It has to be real-life photos now. At the same time, it felt the same. I see. Good for you, Gareth. But do continue to practice such that you're able to distinctly identify how the delivery then differs when they change the purpose, right? Or when they change the context. What are they expecting now? Yeah, from the students. Yeah, but yeah. Aside from the stimulus being changed, Teacher Aryan actually already mentioned this earlier. That they will no longer be linked people. Look at this. So this one, the current version this is about recycling. If you notice, reading aloud was also about it as well. You see the keywords there: recycling, recycle. However, this time, ta-na-na,
So this time around, they will no longer be thematically linked. So they can just give you different themes for reading aloud and for SBC. For example, the one that we've given earlier, let's say your reading aloud is about environment, while your SBC is about education. So these are two different, completely different themes or topics. But yeah, you have to be prepared to have enough knowledge to share during those, or share during the SBC especially.
correct. We'll give you an actual sample that's actually used this year for P5 end of year. This is from Clementi Primary School. Look at this. Their reading aloud was actually about the two students, the one that we read earlier, very excited to meet an author that they really like. But the
Jeremy Lee.
stimulus-based conversation is not about an author,
It's
not about the two friends. It's about a group of students here
studying, yes.
studying, or perhaps they're working together on a project.
Mm-hmm.
So now, this is the delinking that we're telling you. Prepare yourself to kind of like really discuss something completely different from what you've read from reading aloud.
Correct. Yes.
And
Oh, let's show them though.
correct. Having said all those changes, the biggest question is, how do we, writers of work, prepare the students? Of course, when we do our lessons here, we don't just anyhow, okay, you come in, let's do a Q&A now. Sure, Aryan, how does our lesson go?
Yeah, so it's complete, of course, with the changes in PSLE next year. We are also amending, or we made some changes in our curriculum or lesson notes, just so we can get our students prepared, or well prepared, I should say, for these changes next year. So as you can see, here you go. We will show them different scenarios.
Supplementary.
Supplementary video and reading. So that students may use to practice in class.
Correct. The first half of our lesson is never to test the students immediately.
Mm.
We do not assume that you have enough content for what we're about to talk about. We always make sure that you have enough content knowledge before we dive deep into asking you questions about environment, or asking you questions about your neighborhood, or about Singapore, or about patriotism. Before we dive into that, we always give you enough content knowledge. That's why we discuss with the students, we show you videos, we show you reading materials, we give you statistics, and we talk about these things. So you are all, no matter which level are you in when it comes to that topic, you will all end up knowing much about the topic before we dive deep into the stimulus-based conversation itself. So that's why you notice, right? Yeah, we do have very good videos that we have sourced, just to ensure that our students know about it. Because what Teacher Aryan mentioned earlier, your content knowledge on different commonly tested topics and now more than ever, has to be higher, because your reading aloud and SBC are no longer be sharing the same topic at all.
Yes.
On top of that, of course, we have updated the notes to showcase the changes now.
Yeah, so we've actually seen the new lesson notes for next year, and I'm quite excited to roll it. I mean, for us to start teaching the new format of oral, especially because it's completely different. That's the first thing that I would want to prepare the students. So to mentally prepare, especially the lower levels, P1, P2, P3. P1, P2, they don't have any assessments or examinations yet, but it's good to let them know that, oh, next year, these are the changes that you will be expecting, especially for P2s transitioning to P3s, because we don't want them to be overwhelmed once they turn P4, P5, where they only start, using real-life pictures. So starting P3, of course, we'll make the pictures simpler for them, not as overwhelming or as complex as this one. But yeah, it's exciting to to teach these kinds, or the new format to students.
So we have actually done it very quickly. The
Yeah.
moment we heard about the news, right? immediately curriculum team have to move to update the notes that we have.
Impressive.
Correct.
Yes, I think we should give kudos to our curriculum writers for that.
Correct. And so now the question is, okay, it seems like it's simpler now. There's no words, just a real life picture. I would suppose I would understand it immediately.
Oh,
'cause
you
a real
think
life
it's
picture.
simpler, huh?
Is it
Okay,
really?
so that brings us to the question. Is the new 2025 PSLE oral exam format actually easier or is it harder? Now, guys, this is the time that we want you to type in your answers or comment down your answers. Do you think it's easier or is it harder? All you have to do is type easier or harder. If you think it's too long to type easier or harder, just yes, just type in E or H. That would suffice, but we'll give you 10 seconds to answer. We would really love to hear from you guys. So again, please type down your answers or comment down your answers. Is it easier or is it harder? The 2025 format
Your own
for oral.
opinion lah.
Yeah,
Your own
yes.
opinion. Do you think it's easier with now real life photo, no more hand drawn? Okay, and then reading aloud, PAC will be provided. Stimulus for reading aloud and SBC will no longer be linked. So would that mean to say it's the whole examination paper 4 easier or harder? Come on, people.
Putting aside the points that
Correct.
is added to PSLE oral, do you think that it's actually easier or is it harder? So let's we can't really show them. But if you want to see again the current and the new format of PSLE, can we show that to them?
Yeah, so currently we have this format. Then the new one for SBC will be like this.
Yes. So it's black and white real life picture.
So, what do you think, Gareth? You especially that you've gone through one round for it. Is it easier or does it pose a bit
Shirlene,
harder? Shirlene says
harder.
harder. Does it pose more challenge for you that you think you may eventually definitely get used to, but you think like, okay, it poses a new set of
Challenge.
for me to change the way I revise for it.
While we are waiting for their response, maybe we can talk about our own opinion, Teacher Mitsuko. What do you think? Do you think the new format is easier or is it harder?
I think the new format is harder now. Number one, because I think reading aloud, they give you a context. So they are, I would say, when you are given the context, the PAC, right?
Yeah.
Purpose, audience, and context. It's more specific.
Yeah.
For me, I'm being tested for something more specific that I should be able to provide. And then for SBC, just a picture. I have to be very good at interpreting photos without keywords.
I agree.
The title and the subtitle actually gives a lot.
Mm.
It gives a lot. But now it adds, for me, when I see the title and subtitle, it's very easy for me to know the theme. Like,
Yes.
oh, this is environment. Oh, this is sports. This is family. This is hobby. But without the words, it's just like, okay, I need to pay attention to the expression of the face.
The nuance,
Correct.
right?
So
Yes,
then for me,
nuances.
it's harder na.
Correct. Yes, I think I agree with you, especially for for reading aloud as well. It becomes more complicated given the PAC because if I'm used to the old format, I'll just read it as is. I
Right.
have no problems reading. I can still put my proper intonation in it, articulation, and even my emotions or expressions. However, if you would tell me that I have to read something as if I am giving or I am doing a speech in front of millions, let's say, of professionals or well-known people, then that would make it a lot different. So I need to contemplate how should I read this this passage. Or
Gareth also said harder. So Gareth and Shirley
they
agrees
both
with you.
agree.
How about for SBC?
For SBC, it's way more difficult. Firstly, because like what I mentioned earlier, it's very subjective based on our past experiences and how we look at the picture, right? So we have a different perspective and way of seeing things. For example, because it's black and white and it's a picture, not a video, one person holding a rope might mean that it's either he or she is pulling or,
Yeah, or being pulled.
Yeah, correct.
Right. Yeah.
And
Correct.
also without the TSO, I think it's quite difficult for us to come up with our own response, especially at that very short duration of preparation. I think the TSO really helps us determine or the theme of it, the theme of the stimuli or stimulus. Also, it helps us with the things that we can talk about during the conversation with the examiner. But without those, it all depends on how I interpret or discern the picture, and it all boils down to my general knowledge and experiences as well.
Correct. But what do we here in Writers of Work believe? That's the question.
Mhm.
We believe exactly the same thing. The old format is easier
Mm-hmm.
and the new format is harder. But what we're gonna do now is to actually show you why. It's not like we're saying it's our opinion and then so on. It is harder, yeah. But that doesn't mean you get lower marks. It only means to say you have to change the way you revise for it. You need to do more practices to get used to the changes. But we're just telling you because it's completely different skill set. You have to be ready for it. But we show you how, so later they don't believe us when we say it's harder, right? So at the moment, we see a comparison. Okay, pay close attention. All new.
Yes.
Okay, all the new. Just see first. This is the new one, real life, just one single photo. Okay,
No words at all, not a
Correct.
single text.
this one hand drawn. Look at the pictures. How different? Because there's two pictures, right? They're just hand drawn. How different are the pictures from this picture? The amount of details between both, text and no text. Okay, information given. Okay, now let's highlight to you why is the old format easier. But we'll get your opinion. Okay.
Oh yeah, yes, that's great. Let's try to ask him why do you think is the old format easier? Give us some reasons why you think this format is a lot easier than the real life pictures that we'll
Yeah.
be using in 2025.
Gareth and Sherlyn.
Yeah, okay, maybe let's give them let's brainstorm with them.
Mhm.
I'll give one reason. I think this is easier because words are explicitly stated there, which I can use for my responses.
Mhm. What about the picture, people? Like, how about the photo? How different is the photo they give you as opposed to a real life photo, you see? Because for me, right, this one very straightforward now.
Mm.
Even if I don't know what this is, right? If I don't see this word here,
I don't know what that is.
I would perhaps say, okay, this is rock. But okay, they help me because they say it's rubber materials.
Yeah, correct.
Right? So like that made things easier for me.
Mm.
I won't know this is a running track if they didn't put
I think
this
that's
could
the
be a
end of the rainbow.
That means to say, right, if the very simple hand-drawn pictures needs us a title for us to identify it, that means to say the photos are actually also very simple.
Yeah.
They're very easy to interpret. The shoes, there is obviously a shoe. Does it matter if I think it's a dirty shoe or a clean shoe? Right. You just showed me a shoe. And then they identified it for me. They said it's an old sports shoes. So there's no analyzation involved for me to think, what shoe is this? Yeah, because they already said, girl, this is old sports shoe. That's the important thing you should know. They provided the context for me.
So yeah, lesser thought process.
Right.
I think with the text.
They basically fed us everything.
Correct.
So let's highlight it one by one. Sometimes sometimes things are easier to realize when it's really, really placed there visually for you to see. The first one and the most important thing is
Yes, the main message and key details are usually explicitly stated. So like what we've mentioned earlier, the context is very clear. It's already stated on the poster, and all we have to do is to read it and mention it during our responses, right? It's as easy as that. So that is the first reason why we think the old format is a lot easier.
Correct. It was screaming at you. The title there screams recycle.
Correct.
So without even thinking, no thinking process involved. Because the word recycle screaming at me as a title, I already know.
Yeah,
Main
and
message is recycling.
true.
That's
And
about it.
whenever we teach the students, we always put emphasis on the title that we have to mention it first. So just the
Correct.
mere fact of like you mentioning the key point of or main message of the poster gives you point already.
Right.
Because you already know exactly what it is about. So less discernment or thought process in discerning the picture because it's clearly stated there.
So that also means that we have to change the way we teach and give tips to our students because the stimulus have changed now.
Yeah.
So is there main message out there, right there, screaming at you? Outdoor adventure,
Recycle!
like that. It's like there, it's there. But now, no more. Okay, let's move on to another one. Okay. Tan tan tan. Drawing is usually simpler and easier to comprehend.
Yeah.
Text may accompany. See, drawing very simple. They put text for you to interpret the drawing as well.
Yes, but what if I draw? My students, criticize my drawing or my handwriting, so that wouldn't really help. So,
So it was
probably,
very easy, no?
yeah, but yeah.
Shoes there, old sports shoes. Doesn't look old, but they put the words there, so they basically gave you everything you need. Recycling factory, running tracks, and then rubber materials. So everything is there given to you. Imagine, okay, the first thing we can let them to imagine is imagine there are no words below the pictures.
Yeah, then that would be very difficult to explain. And yeah, with the drawings, it's quite straightforward.
Correct.
Yeah, and the pictures are also supported by text that would explain what these are.
And then, okay, let's move on to the next one. The
The
main message was screaming at you, right? But
this is the subtitle.
right.
Yeah, the subtitle, the secondary message can also be easily found either printed or drawn in the poster. You just have to find it or
Yeah.
look for it closely.
It's
So-
about there. You already know
Yes.
this is environment and specifically it's on recycling.
Mm.
So recycle there on top and the whole simple pictures. I can already know. I know what is the first question already. And
Yeah.
then the secondary message. Oh, I know what's the second and the third question. Because they gave you the broader theme in the
Yes.
subtitle.
Also, if I
Yeah.
don't know what to talk about anymore, I
Right.
just refer back to poster.
And use the keywords in
Correct.
the poster, which
Like-
we actually teach our students, right?
Mm,
For
yes.
question 1, go back to the poster, take some of the keywords, use it in your elaboration, but now cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would suppose, for example, real life pictures can also have text inside because maybe they took a picture of something with text. Yes, that may happen, but it will not be the same amount of text as compared to the previous version. Yeah. So get ready for that. And I think overall, this just tells you that the whole thing
Yes.
is easy. It's an easy access to evidence.
Yes. So all of these elements made it easier for students to identify and of course quote relevant evidence and information directly from the poster itself. So yeah, easy way. I mean, it's easier for us to comprehend what the poster is all about rather than us going through a real life picture and the lighting really matters. Every emotion in the picture, these nuances matter matter a lot because without you discerning what these facial expressions are all about, you might not be able to give the examiners the answer that they are looking for.
Correct. And so that brings us to the next part.
Mm-hmm.
We have highlighted why this is easier.
Mm-hmm.
And then we flip the coin. Why is the new version? Okay, a quick revision of why the old format is easier.
Mm-hmm.
Main message and secondary message all given there because they're text. And then drawings are easier to understand as well. The whole thing is basically your evidence.
Yes.
But now, okay, this is the new format.
Yeah.
Real life photo and no text for you there. There's a bit of text there. You can see. Yeah,
Well, that. Oh yeah, actually that would help.
yeah.
What's
There's
that? Food. I can't read it.
Yeah. Food for the heart. Food for the heart.
For the heart.
That would actually that will help you a bit, but the amount of text here versus the previous one, you can already see the difference, right?
Suddenly, everyone go offline. Come on, everyone, go online. Is it too much information? I think
It's a timing. It's a timing.
Yeah.
12,
Are you all
12:30.
having your lunch already?
Yes, possibly.
Mm.
Or it may also, lunchtime now.
It's lunchtime, yeah.
Okay. So this is the new format now. You will be given real life photo. Now the question is, why is it hard? Why would a new format being given like a real life picture hard?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Royston, huh? Your PSLE, right? You did the old format for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
For your, in your opinion, then, if you will be given a real life photo for your PSLE stimulus based conversation,
yeah, no
what
text
challenge
at
would
all.
it? What challenge would it pose for you when they ask you questions about it? Let's say this is your photo na, stimulus based conversation, and then they ask you, why would you join this activity or not?
People
So
of the
why
world
would it
hungry.
be more challenging at least?
I think we're more challenging to interpret what the poster is talking about. What
Correct.
they're trying to do inside the poster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try to interpret it for me. What do you think is happening here?
They're running a food donation program, then they're
Mm.
packing and organizing it.
Correct. So now the whole thinking process is on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are no words given to you. Basically, yeah, you're correct. Well done. Yuki. What do you think students will be? Do you think they will be overwhelmed? It's just like you just compare it with this photo, lah, Yuki.
Oh, in her
Would it-
perspective, it's also good to hear her perspective.
Yeah,
though.
lah, correct.
Like, with-
Will you?
Mm.
Would it be easier for you to do this or the other one?
The real life picture.
The other one. Ah, okay.
The real life
I like your
picture.
opinion though. Why?
Because this one is like, I don't know what's happening.
You have to break down the
But the one I can analyze on my own.
I like that perspective.
Right.
Because she's banking on the subjectivity of the picture.
Yeah, based on her own knowledge and
Oh, that's
experience.
very smart.
Yeah.
That is to say, a weakness that some students may get if they actually develop media literacy, then it
It's
would
easier
then be
for them to
something they
discern the
correct,
picture.
I appreciate.
Correct.
Because she's very smart. She likes a photo because she can easily interpret it. Lah.
Mm.
I like visuals.
Alright, correct. You see, she liked it, the visuals. Okay.
Right. See?
That is something we can actually highlight to them now. Yeah?
Different kinds of students also prefer different things.
Correct.
Mm.
But of course, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not,
Yeah, you have no
this
choice.
is what you get on the examination desk. So
True.
you have to eventually like it, or at least you have to know how to deal with it on the examination day. It's the same thing, right? When they go and say, "I don't like this story that you're teaching me. I want fire stories, but no, but this one I don't like." I don't like this kind of stories, but yeah, you're gonna need it. You never
Yeah.
know when you're gonna need it. You have to know how to write it, whether you like it or not, right? Same thing. Why is it harder? Number one, I think we do challenge in interpreting the visual clues. Why would it be challenging then?
Yeah, because real life photos lack explanatory text and
Correct.
exaggeration. So unlike illustrations or drawings, the illustrator or the artist can actually
Correct,
exaggerate
right.
on
Yeah,
the
the details, right.
the details, and there are subtle details that are quite difficult to understand, especially when it comes to the lighting. So these are things that we have to scrutinize while understanding the picture.
Correct, right? Because if I were to draw anger, I have the full freedom to if
The
I want-
eyebrows, you
correct,
know,
right?
yeah.
As opposed to just taking a real life photo, you are basically relying on how that person in the photo
Yeah.
expresses anger.
Like this, I'm angry.
You see? Just happy.
Violence.
This is the challenge.
Do not do this at home.
Not safe for work.
Yes.
Yeah, and then emotional and atmospheric content actually is there, and
Mhm.
it's not like they tell it to you. You know,
Yeah.
you only have the visual, the picture, to interpret what's the atmosphere. Like, is it like, oh, the atmosphere is very fun? But how do you know it's fun? They didn't
Yes.
put the word fun there, but you have to be able to infer that from just the picture itself.
Using your 5 senses.
Very good.
That's one way for you to elaborate your.
Oh, this
story.
one, sure.
Oh yeah, the third one is, of course, limited or overabundance of visual stimuli. We all know how we can get overwhelmed just by looking at something, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the picture again earlier, and tell me that you're not overwhelmed looking at this.
This is actually it's abundant.
Yeah,
There's
because
way
there's-
too many things. Yeah.
Correct. There's so many elements in this picture that I need to look out for. Like, for example, these things right here. What are these? Like, I need to look at what she is doing or what's written on her back, and look at the people behind her or in the background, and the photo or the guy taking photos at the back or in the background. So these this is quite overwhelming because there are a lot of elements that I have to look out for and to consider when giving out my responses. So yeah, there. And sometimes though, it's the opposite of overwhelming. It may lack or it may show too little information.
Yeah lah.
Right? So it would be very difficult for me to actually think about what's happening in the picture because it's very vague. So yeah, that is one of the challenges that might occur.
And they have to be prepared for it. 'Cause,
Exactly.
they may give you a very simple picture with only
Mm.
one person inside. Or they may give you a picture with like that one, with so many people doing different things. And you
Yeah.
have to be prepared for both. So the way you interpret background and foreground will be very important. How you make good use of every single information there, whether there's a lot or there's close to nothing, is very important for you to make sure that you can still answer whatever amount of information is given.
Yeah, so you have to think of relevant things to mention if there are very vague or very little information or elements shown in the picture.
Correct.
So elaborating it might be one of the challenges. And lastly,
Subjectivity and interpretation.
yeah,
This is actually related to what Yuki mentioned just now.
Yes.
She chose actually the new format because she mentioned that she has the freedom on how she wants to talk about it, which is then something we have to understand that the students have to be able to do.
yeah, yes, that's right. So because our experiences vary from person to person, the way we look at the pictures or interpret the pictures might be different with how other people might interpret the picture.
Correct.
Okay, but these are the challenges or these are the reasons why we think the new format is more difficult or more challenging next year. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible for us to get full marks or get stellar marks for paper 4, right? Because the only thing that we have to master this time, because we already know what to expect next year, is to just equip ourselves with the right knowledge and techniques on how to actually face or answer the questions that might be thrown to us during the examination.
Correct. And so, given all the changes and understanding that it's actually harder than the
Mhm.
previous version, what exactly is the impact of these changes for all of you? So we start, of course, with the ones most affected, the students.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
guessing ha. People of the world, Shirley.
Surely,
and
since
Garrett,
you're
if
not
still
hungry
there,
yet.
You
And
need to
people
be
of the world.
people of the world. We like people of the world.
Yes, people of the world, try to answer this. Students need to be more blank and blank speakers.
Yeah, for you to ace the oral examination, these are the two things that you have to be able to become.
Yes, so the first letters of the words
Are
have been
there.
given. Yes. So the first word is definitely not energetic, although you can be.
You saw that coming, right? Like, oh my god, they're gonna write energetic speakers.
Yes.
But I think we can give them a clue. Like,
Yeah.
E-L, the word starts with E-L.
Confident. People of the world. Correct, but again, the spelling.
You got the letter C. Confident
Yes.
speaker. How
Confident
about E?
speaker. What about E? This is quite difficult though.
Oh, we'll get them the... Wow.
Elegant.
Elegant
You need to be
speaker.
more elegant. See.
I think she's hi, I'm Garrett. It said the live was unavailable on my other account. I see.
Hi, Garrett. Welcome back.
Why was it unavailable in your other account though? Interesting.
Hmm.
But thank you for making it back. Such a very resourceful person you are.
Yes. He finds ways.
So E as in
Almost so. Surely you're almost there. You almost got the answer correctly.
ELO.
Close enough. Yeah.
It's just that
Elo.
elegant is like ELE.
Hello. That's my last one.
Hello.
If you get the fourth letter, it's not gonna help them. It's quite
Actually.
difficult. Almost.
Close, but not that. That's not the word.
Charlene, do not give up. You're almost there.
Confidence, you are right. That's the second word. People,
People
of the world. One,
Very
two,
good.
three.
Correct spelling this time. Well done.
ELO. Type it in for them. ELO and then blank, 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 blank. Let's see if they actually get it.
Hello.
I think they will.
Member for
Giving
the
them-
zebra.
Giving them the
Elroy.
first
Who's
letter.
Elroy? Shirley. Who's Elroy? Tell me.
But giving them the next letter will make it easy. Oh really, huh?
Okay, let me comment. E-L-O. And then? Oh, sorry.
Wow, phones, yeah. E-L-O, and then we blank. Okay, now let's not count. Don't count the thing, huh? We're just like,
I want to give them more clues. Hangman time. And look.
wow! It's not
I tell
letter
you,
C.
Shirley. Fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it?
Mine did not.
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe they don't want that word. Yeah.
The blank.
The blank.
Mhm.
Okay, can. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Okay.
Actually, the fourth letter is Q.
It's
See?
Q. Q. Mm.
Mm. Shirley, you're almost.
E-L-O-Q. Let's give it a try.
Just to wait.
Good
But I
job.
prefer the elegant.
Right.
Students need to be more elegant.
Yeah, so basically, they want you to be
Eloquent and confident speakers.
correct. And at the same time, the challenge is, actually,
We've mentioned this a couple of times in the previous live sessions. Not me, but with teacher Vicky and teacher
making sure you're very good at interpreting all the content that you see around you, whether they're photos with text, advertisements, whatever. You have to be good at discerning them
Mhm.
and how to process the information given to you, because this is how the world is going, and you have to be smart enough to think critically on how you process the information given to you. You know this word. We've already tested this with you yesterday and the
Me.
other day.
Me lit.
Me lit, correct.
Mind almost.
It's M.
Gareth, you can do this. Come on, let's do it. Me.
It's M and L, by the way.
Yeah, M and L. Me lit. Or me lit.
How good you are at interpreting all the content you're exposed to. Ads, pictures, and that this is what they want you to be good at, because visual text, you have two stimulus. You have now text 1 and text 2. Text 1 will have more visuals. Your stimulus-based conversation, just a real life photo. Situational writing, they will ask you will now be processing what? Interpreting the picture with a question that you will have to be answering on your own. Cannot lift from the stimulus anymore. So that is Let's start with the first word. Let's give in the first word.
Me. Social.
Social. Like that. Ooh, and child, I can tell you, secondary school, you're still on this one. You will even need to rely more on it. Media, very good.
Very good.
Media.
Shirley's so active. Okay, now the second word. More complicated than the first one, but you've got this. Media lit.
She, at least teacher Erin gave you the first 3 letters. Lit.
Yes! Gareth got it correctly.
Well done, Gareth.
Woo!
Valuable skill set in discerning real life pictures. So this is what they basically need from you. And of course, it's so funny because you see the movement of the animation actually showed the word. And you have to be able to draw an eye based on context.
Be able to draw out information. See?
And this is like how you process information that's not given to you outrightly. So for example, if the text is saying tears stream down her cheeks like that, but then you would go to say like, what's the emotion?
Correct.
But they never actually mentioned the emotion, right? But
what can you draw out from that description? We use this usually for comprehension, open-ended, for passages that this is one type of
How you
a-
deduce lah. How
Yes.
you deduce information when they give you something that's not, outrightly said there in front of your eyes.
you have to. In Gareth, you've almost gotten it correctly. Try it one more time. I think you know the answer to this.
So instead of O, it's E, infer.
You almost got the right.
10 seconds
Draw
and see if
out
they can give it. I like the sound. Very good. Very good.
Yay! Inferences, correct.
Well done. Well
All
done.
right, so students should be able to draw inferences based on the context.
And now, of course, parents.
What's in it for parents, or what should parents do, or what can parents do to help their kids at home?
Prepare and help their children be well equipped with all the necessary exam skills. Okay, it's also good that you know the changes yourselves.
Correct. That's why you have to be kept abreast to the changes by continuously looking out for updates as well.
And help their child get acclimatized to the new format. The most important thing at the moment is to expose them to practices
Yeah.
that are
Yes.
that contains the new format.
Yes, I know parents like to test their children using assessment books. So if you still have the old format, maybe it's about time that you try to scour or find new assessment books. Do we have assessment books for oral? Okay. Like the new format.
The new format, huh? At the moment, I don't think so. We have
It's about time.
Yeah, it's
Stay
about time.
tuned.
Stay tuned, right?
Yes.
But at the
correct.
moment, if you don't have one, because
Yeah.
it's real life pictures, look
It's easier
for
to
one.
find. I mean, just look around you. When you see an ad, maybe you can ask your child, what do you think about that?
Correct.
Ask them questions, just like how SBCs might be conducted. Not as formal, maybe just ask simple questions until, they are able to give or draw out inferences.
Yeah, right. So I would assume that the commonly tested topics will still be the commonly tested topics. If you
Yeah.
want to test them on those specific topics, just go out and look for the photo on your own. There's a lot of actually websites that produce AI even that can produce a picture that you want.
Yes.
But the good step is you have to start giving them the real life photos instead of getting them to practice the hand drawn ones.
Yeah.
That's the very first step lah.
So I think because students are so used to TSO,
Yeah.
now that we have real life pictures and basically, or obviously
They're
we
quite
don't have
lost now.
TSO, yeah. What you can do, parents, to help your kids at home is to utilize the 5W1H, right? Also, what else? Top down method, just so you can ensure that they will be looking at the entire picture. So
Some
those
of them
things.
even use the clockwise.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
correct. Top down clockwise. But the most important thing is what we usually do here in Writers of Word is we always find and teach our students step-by-step process on what to do the moment they face the stimulus. So they don't feel lost. They don't just freestyle what they want to do when they see the picture. We teach them how to analyze the picture. So join us. If you want to get that burden off your shoulders, join us. Our curriculum is updated to help the students adjust to these changes now. But of course, we're still doing the live. To
Yes.
tell you, actually, this is the most important part. What can you do?
Where am I?
See, where matcha? Matcha is not in the frame, is it? That's why. This one, the green one. This is, okay, matcha, you missed matcha, is it? Matcha is here.
So who is?
Mochi.
Oh, Mochi.
The green one is matcha.
And this is who thought of me?
They named
Oh,
they named the capybara.
And this is oh.
Ronnie. All of them Ronnie.
You know what happened to the other Ronnie?
Yes. Auctioned
There!
for $1 million.
Poor Ronnie! Abducted!
Hey, the guy who bought the banana, ate the banana, people. Oh my god.
Who brought the banana?
He's a crypto billionaire.
Oh, yes. So guys are selling this
For
for $6 million. You can get to eat it as well if you want to.
how much 6 million? Let's see if people are willing to bid that. Okay, so now is the bonus that we promised all of you. A set of things that we want to suggest because I think you cannot look at this in isolation, as in the entire changes, you have to look at it across all papers. But I think that most obvious one is that they increase the marks for paper 4, basically means to say the importance they put.
It's the aim of MOE as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the ever-changing world, now they put more emphasis on, equipping the students to be able to be more communicative
Mm-hmm.
and having the proper skills, not just eloquent, but also the things that they talk about or the things that they can demonstrate demonstrate verbally. I think that's very important nowadays.
Correct.
And the
so-
media literacy, not
Media
to
literacy
not
also,
to put
correct.
that aside. I think
As
it's very
in
important.
processing information and expressing your thoughts about an information that you have just processed. So 2 very important things which they are trying to focus on as early as primary level. And to be honest with you, the leap from primary to secondary is very big.
Yeah.
So these changes is actually a way to bridge the gap. Yeah, because you will only realize at the moment you reach secondary school. Yeah, and you'll be thankful. You'll be thankful the moment you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about what are the things that you can do. First thing that I would like to definitely highlight is the difference between passive and active learning. There is no, I'm not saying do passive, I'm not saying do active. Every day is a combination of both.
Yeah.
Passive is not within, can be within your control, but it happens every day now. You're exposed to information, you talk to people.
Whether you like it or not.
They teach you something. Yeah,
Yeah.
they teach you in class. You listen, you choose to or not. The passive learning happens,
Mhm.
but it's definitely not measured. And the one that you can control the most is the active learning. But active learning is the one with the highest retention.
Yeah.
When you
It's
learn
what
something
you
in a
do.
structured way.
Yes,
Mhm.
mindfully, I think.
Yeah, that you retain information a bit more. Okay, so we'll do 2 versions of this now because learning is always a combination of both. But we would like you to know that learning actively is our best way to go. Put the learning in your hands now. Okay, so what do we mean by that? Now, listening to audiobooks. Yeah, that's correct. Audiobooks and podcasts.
Do you listen to audiobooks, guys? Do you actually?
Good question. Yeah.
And
do you
if they-
listen?
Yeah, and if they are, what kind of audiobooks?
Correct.
do you
Correct. Share.
listen to?
You can actually share. Do you actually listen to anything at all aside from music? Because I suppose you all listen to music.
Yeah, I think if you are not someone who likes or who enjoys audiobooks, podcasts is also one good alternative.
Royston, Yuki, you listen audiobook, podcast.
Podcast.
I prefer podcast.
Podcast, huh?
Not
Do
really
you like any specific podcaster?
Well, I listen to quite a lot of Dr. Andrew Huberman.
Oh, yes.
good
I
choice.
know.
Yeah, so I listen to quite a lot of
Good.
this.
So now let's go one level higher. Okay, you can always listen. That's good. It's the same way now. You're in classroom, right? You listen to your teacher, Ken. But how do you increase the retention rate of the things that you listen to?
Yeah, so after you read or listen to audiobooks, the next thing you can do is to replicate certain paragraphs from audiobooks. So what does this mean, Teacher Mitsuko?
So, for example, let's say I listen to a podcast. There is a way for you to sometimes get the transcript of the podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So, get the transcript, listen to how the person actually said the entire paragraph, pause it, say it yourself. So, at least this time, you are practicing your reading aloud skills. You can follow the intonation of the person who actually said the entire paragraph. So now the practice, you are more involved in the practice. Aside from just listening, how do you know that you can actually follow the intonation or the pronunciation even, right? You have to try it yourself. Get the transcript, practice it yourself. Read the whole thing on your own.
Yes. So yeah, that's a good practice for reading aloud. And you can actually use this as a good practice for SBC as well, especially if you're listening to podcasts and it targets the
Themes, right?
Yeah, the themes. Then maybe you can, after reading them aloud, you can actually absorb the information
Correct.
that you are verbally speaking.
Yeah.
And you can also share those things to the examiners. That would be a part of your elaboration or your evidence if you don't have a lot of experience about it or that situation, a general knowledge will definitely help.
Correct. Yeah. So this is actionable things that you can do. Now,
Yes.
what else? Passive, keeping oneself aware of current news by podcasts, radio, or news on TV. So basically means to say you watch, you listen. Okay, at least you are aware of what's happening around you. How can we make it more actionable? Number one, talk about what you have watched or talk about what you have read.
Yeah, to your
That's
family
the
or
most,
friends.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Royce, and going back to you, do you talk to your friends about it? Like the things that Andrew Huberman is very. I listen to him too, and it's so informative. And sometimes we share things that we
Correct.
listen to. Do you also do that to your friends? Do you share what you've learned?
I think it's so important if it comes out of the conversation,
Mm.
Correct.
the topic.
Mm.
Yeah,
Also with
then
the-
it comes up.
I think it's with the circle.
Yeah.
So for example, are these topics like family? It's easier for me to inject these like topics with the family or like specific group of friends.
Mm.
Right.
True.
Yeah, correct. But it does help when you engage in discussions with these things now.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing when we do lesson prep, right? But remember how we master the lessons only when we teach them. Correct. So
Correct.
it's the same
Yes.
thing for you. Talk about what you have just processed.
Yeah, and it's a good segue to, let's say you want to steer away from that conversation. For example, oh, remember the crypto millionaire who bought the banana? So see, that's one of the news on television. But of course, choose a news that you engage to as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Now, what else? Reading. Okay, reading more newspapers and books to help incite curiosity. Um, I think every single student will have heard this from every single teacher.
Yeah,
Read more.
highlights. Also, that highlighting.
While it's good to say read more, I think it's not very clear because anyone you can always choose to read more but still not master the English language.
Yeah, and sometimes we just read passively as well. Just like this. Like we're not mindful of what we're reading. So in return, we don't really absorb what it's trying to tell us or the things that we have to learn from it. Yeah, we just read it. It goes in and goes out.
So how do we do it more intentionally such that you remember you're more intentional that you're looking out for something very specific when you're reading. You remember what you read or that you can engage with the information that you are actually trying to process. Highlight keywords. If, for example, it depends on your goal, by the way, when you're reading. My goal in reading is, for example, to learn more vocabulary words. So if that is your goal, start highlighting. I made it a goal, when I started reading, I will never continue reading unless, once I encounter a word I don't understand, I am not allowing myself to continue reading unless I check the definition of that word. Because it affects my whole understanding of the context of the paragraph. So you can do the same thing. Highlight, check the definition. If you want to write it down, if the book is yours now, do it out. Make things easier for you. For example, if you use Kindle, you long press on a word, the whole definition appears, for example. But that's more intentional. If your goal is, for example, to increase and make sure your vocabulary is, then you can do a level higher because you're a student, right? Create a vocab list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Create your flashcards.
Correct.
These are words that you start to notice. Somehow it appears every single news article that you read. Somehow it appears that, and then someone said it. Even when I discuss with people, they say a word, right? What do you say? I actually stop them and ask them what's the word. And I don't mind telling them that I do not know the word that they said. What is that word? What's the meaning of that word? And then they explain to me. Good. You have to have the humility though to put yourself out there and to go and say, hey, I don't understand this. What's the meaning of this? Yeah, but reading and both conversations, you can increase your vocabulary. What else? Another thing for reading.
Oh, I think we've talked about this, Ali Agal, the way he retains the
information. Pretty
yeah.
intense. Pretty intense.
Yes.
Correct. Because his goal is to remember the information of the book that he has read. So completely set of goals. But the goal is to know your goal and then set steps to make sure you remember the information now.
Yes.
It doesn't stop at just reading at all.
So yeah, when you probably read a book, if you want to retain the information or the gist of that book, you just write a summary. I think that would help you retain the story or the things that you want to remember.
Correct. Especially if your goal is, for example, to grow your content knowledge on commonly tested topics for oral. So I have a few news articles here that I've collected for environment. And then I have a few news articles I have collected for, let's say, patriotism or this one. What else? education, common
Health,
sense,
yes.
technology.
Yes, correct.
Correct,
Values as well. Something
values.
so social issues. I think that's something
Mm.
quite huge, especially that we're using real life pictures now.
A lot of it is on the students. You be mindful of this because your parents can go. They can do the step for you where they give you all the reading materials. Schools can also do that step. They give you all the reading materials, but now the next step is on you. Like, how do I process such that I read them, but at the same time I remember them? Yeah. So write or recite it is basically testing yourself. You have to test yourself, your understanding by reciting it. So I read something, I share it. You know, I remember the other day I read this, madam, this. That's basically it. Or write it down if you want. You don't like to talk to people.
Yeah. Yes, and they said that the only way for you to gauge how well you understand something is by teaching it to other people. Right.
Correct. So go and give it a try. Or parents, if you want to be more systematic about it, get them to read something, but don't stop there. Because some parents do that. Sit down, 1 hour. Hi, Diva. Hello, Cat Lover 23. That's how she says it when she enters the Hi, Diva. Hello.
Elegance.
Yeah, I don't want to put a bad one. I love the word Diva.
Yeah. Beyonce.
Yes. Yeah, so test yourself. Parents wants to be, some parents do this, like they're not very comfortable when they see the kid not doing anything. So they go and say, go sit down, read. But you have to go level higher. You have to check if they actually understood what they read. So go and tell me during meals, for example, ask them, hey, you finished the book. Can you tell me what happened in the book? Like that. Check out sample reading aloud and SBC papers online, which is
Correct.
good.
Yes. Oh, I think we also forgot to mention earlier the reading aloud part, or in answering the SBC or giving out our responses, that students should, especially nowadays, we have so many Gen Z slangs.
Correct.
Like, what are the Gen Z slangs? Skibbity, those things.
Skibbity toilet.
Try to steer away during
Yes.
SBCs and mentioning those things outside of the examination. It's fine. Not in my classroom though. Yeah, I try to
Oh my God.
stop my students from using those just so they won't get used to it. You know? But yes, try to avoid those slangs during the examinations.
You can say lol.
Correct.
I don't think that
Yeah.
the generation don't use
Sus.
lol anymore, right? Sus, they use that. Yeah, sus.
The man is quite sus. Like, no, please don't.
Correct, the proper English one. But of course, I can use this in normal conversations.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And now because I don't want to give them all now because it's about time.
Oh, yes.
But we'll save the rest for our next session, which
We
I
have
think-
another session.
Yes. When is it, Teacher Ariana?
It's gonna be on the 9th of December, and you'll be seeing Teacher Mitsuko and I again on that day.
And that time, night time.
Yes. So you better take your lunch and just prepare your snacks so you wouldn't have to leave the live, and so that you have energy to type your answers down whenever we ask you. We will only give you 5 seconds to answer by then. So just a caveat to you guys.
Correct. We have actually more actionable tips and strategies we would like to share, but we'll save that bonus for round 2. And this one is, I think, more important, very important to learn because your oral skills is a skill that you will need whichever industry you go, whether you choose to be an employer, an employee, or a business owner. It is going to be there.
Yes, we
Today,
understand,
live too early,
Shirley.
Shirley.
Today's live
But
is
we're very
too
happy
early.
that you're here with us,
Yeah,
Shirley.
and you did leave us, and thank you so much for all the likes in today's live session. I know
Yeah.
it's way too early, guys. I know. I think it's because I have a class late. My
But,
class is late.
but we would like to cover, people, they definitely have different timings. Now, some of them may not
Yeah.
be available at night as well because they work at nighttime.
Mm.
So whoever is available, then come and join us definitely. But
Yes.
you will definitely see Teacher Aryan again next Monday, right?
Yeah, so I think just so we are prepared as well. If you have any questions,
Yeah.
comment them down here or in our other videos.
Mm.
Just so by the time we conduct the live sessions, we can, address and answer those
Perhaps
questions.
if we really see some recurring questions, we can add them to the
Mm.
slides now so that we can have a separate time for it to really talk about your questions. Can
Yes.
peoples. But nonetheless, thank you all so much for coming today. Thank you, Teacher Aryan.
Ooh, you're welcome.
See you once again. Actually, what am I gonna say? Our next session will be this coming Friday, is it, Yuki? Okay, Friday, nighttime, people. So come and see us. But thank you all for today. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, people of the world. Charlene, Gareth, if you're still there, and all the
Yeah,
others.
still
Thank
like
you
you.
so much. Thank you.
Oh, he's still there.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.